Hello, I'm Mark Hammett, minister of the Weber Road Church of Christ in beautiful Corpus Christi, Texas. It's called the Sparkling City by the Sea, and it truly is beautiful. We'd love to have you visit with us here at the Weber Road Church of Christ at any opportunity that you might get. And I'm glad you've joined us for this daily devotional and Bible reading. We're going to be reading actually from an Old Testament book, Ezekiel chapter 4. And I hope you'll turn there. And we'll read from the English Standard Version in just a few moments. Actually, the way that God is going to convey His message to Ezekiel in this chapter is unique. I mean, you think about a prophet speaking on behalf of God, the words of God, and proclaiming God's message to the people. But the people, in this case, have grown cold in their hearts to the things of God. They're no longer willing to listen to a message. And so God has Ezekiel act out sermons. He's already caused Ezekiel to become mute in Ezekiel chapter 3. He's silent most of the time. He doesn't engage, it seems, in casual conversation anymore with the people. He doesn't say a word in chapter 4, yet his actions speak for themselves. Did you know there's a deceitfulness from sin that often closes a person's heart? Just think in our own country. People who were once open to the gospel message, even as adults. Again, many times they're not. Now there are some that still are, but so many have become hard-hearted, in essence, because of sin. They don't want to go to church. They don't want to read the Bible. They don't want to learn or even consider the fact they're living in a wrong way before God. They don't want to think about God. They want to do their own thing. They want to be their own person. And they say now, some research does, that if you want to reach a person for Christ, you need to do it before about the 5th grade. I don't know if that's true, and there are definitely exceptions to that. But the point is, the seeds of interest in God, in Christ, in the gospel, are better planted early in life if they're going to grow. Now in 2 Chronicles 36, it says that after Jehoiachin was captured, King Nebuchadnezzar placed Zedekiah on the throne of Judah. Now this was King Nebuchadnezzar's uncle. It says that this pagan king instructed him to be true to the Lord, but left him in charge. Yet Zedekiah was not true to God. He defiled the temple. He turned against God in open rebellion. And so now Jerusalem will be attacked for a final time and leveled to the ground. This is what Ezekiel will act out in this chapter with what we'll call action sermons. And I'm just going to read a portion of Ezekiel chapter 4, the first 8 verses, and you'll see what I mean. Ezekiel chapter 4, starting in verse 1. And you, son of man, take a brick and lay it before you and engrave on it a city, even Jerusalem. And put siege works against it and build a siege wall against it and cast up a mound against it. Set camps also against it and plant battering rams against it all around. And you, take an iron griddle and place it as on an iron wall between you and the city, and set your face toward it, and let it be in a state of siege, and press the siege against it. This is a sign for the house of Israel. Then lie on your left side, and place the punishment of the house of Israel upon it. For the number of days that you lie on it, you shall bear their punishment. For I assign to you a number of days, 390 days, equal to the number of years of their punishment. So long shall you bear the punishment of the house of Israel. And when you have completed these, you shall lie down a second time, but on your right side, and bear the punishment of the house of Judah. 40 days I assign you, a day for each year. And you shall set your face toward the siege of Jerusalem with your arm bare, and you shall prophesy against the city. And behold, I will place cords upon you, so that you cannot turn from one side to the other, until you have completed the days of your siege. And again, just think about how far from God's people had strayed. They had gotten to the point where God was going to allow their beautiful holy city to be destroyed because of their open rebellion against God. Again, the lesson in this, one of the lessons in this for us, is that we need to humble ourselves before God and always be willing, as individuals, as a church, if you're a member of the Lord's church, and as a people, again, to follow God's will, to follow His instruction and guidance, so that God will truly look upon us and bless us because we are striving to be faithful to Him. I'm glad you've joined me or joined us for this daily devotional and Bible reading. I hope that you'll join us again, and may the Lord bless you richly as you seek to follow His will.